Spring training's coming to a close and opening day's almost here. All my picks for the American League are in, and now it's time to turn our attention to the National League. Let's start with the East. The Nationals were the NL East champs last year, winning the division by 17 games, and they were the only team to finish with a record over 500. Maybe a couple of those teams could finish with records over 500, but there's no way that anyone in the National League East is overtaking the Nationals with their pitching rotation. Washington made a splash worth $210 million, signing Max Scherzer, and he'll be a part of their monster rotation, including Steven Strasburg, Jordan Zimmerman, Doug Fister, and Gio Gonzalez. And when Gio Gonzalez is your number 5 starter, you're pretty damn good. On the offensive side, they lost Adam LaRoche to the Chicago White Sox, but they still have a potent offense led by Bryce Harper and Ian Desmond. When healthy, this team could be the best in baseball. The only team that I could really see posing a threat to the Nationals are the Miami Marlins. The moves they made might be for the long haul, but they could be competitive now. Miami made sure they locked up Giancarlo Stanton for an eternity, signing a baffling 13-year, $325 million contract. But what bodes well for Miami is he has not reached his prime yet. They also made a tremendous move in acquiring the young athletic second baseman from the Dodgers, Dee Gordon. When you combine some of the veterans they brought in along with their young talent, that's a recipe for success. Now we turn our attention to the Mets. The Mets have some great pieces that could make them a contender, but injuries have always plagued them in the past. David Wright's a solid citizen and a really good player, but he's one play away from being back on the disabled list. Their highly touted pitcher, Zach Wheeler's already been ruled out for the rest of the season, and who knows how Matt Harvey will do fresh off of Tommy John surgery. They have great young talent in Juan Lagares, Wilmer Flores, and Jacob deGrom. The Mets have always been an organization to put a lot of pressure on their young players, and we'll see if they can bring them to the promised land. The Atlanta Braves turned some heads in the offseason, trading Jason Hayward to the Cardinals and Justin Upton to the Padres. Freddie Freeman, Melvin Upton Jr., aka BJ Upton, and recently acquired Nick Markakis will have to pick up most of the slack, losing those guys in the lineup. And the Braves are starting to enter the rebuilding stage and will need to develop their players, so they'll probably play the spoiler role this year. The Phillies are definitely in rebuilding mode. All spring they've been trying to dump the contract of Cole Hamels, and I'm assuming they'll be trying to move Chase Utley and Ryan Howard to see if they could get prospects back in return. It's unfortunate, but as the old cliche goes, it's just business. I gotta be honest with you, I'll be very surprised if the Nationals don't win this division by at least 7 games. The other 4 teams simply don't have the offense or pitching to hang around with them, and the only chance for the teams to catch up to Washington is if they suffer a big-time injury to one of their big players. Other than that, I got the Nats winning the East.